After midnight on August 28, 2022, Officer Nathan Winters and Lieutenant Christopher Wing from the Newton Police Department initiated a traffic stop on 19-year-old college football player Taven Galanakis in Newton, Iowa. The reason for the stop was Galanakis was driving with his high-beam headlights on. The ensuing interaction between the officers and Galanakis was recorded on Officer Winters' body camera.
Brights on.
Okay, well that's not legal.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Yeah, I turn when a car comes by, I turn them off. But like,
Well, you didn't with me.
you're a while back.
It has to be within 500 feet.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
And you're not supposed to have your brights on in the city limits.
My fault.
You got your license, registration, insurance with you?
Yeah, I got you.
Is this your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you headed?
Back home. Hold on 1 second.
Where are you coming from?
Friend's house.
Okay. Anything to drink over there?
Need one of these right here?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good start. That's the registration. Okay. I'll take this first one here.
Alright.
You got your insurance?
Yeah, I got you. Would it be that white card?
Could be. That's one that expired in 21.
I got the email version.
Alright, that'll work. I'm gonna have you hop out with me, okay?
Mr. Galanakis requests to undergo a breathalyzer test, but Officer Winters requests him to exit the vehicle first in order to conduct field sobriety testing. Officer Winters' decision to delay the breathalyzer test when Mr. Galanakis requested one may have appeared unnecessary, but it was likely to ensure accurate results. Police station breathalyzers have safeguards against false positives, but roadside breath tests can be affected by residual mouth alcohol or other contaminants.
What do you mean?
I had nothing to drink.
Okay. Why would your eyes be watery and bloodshot?
Do you want to blow me real quick?
I don't want to blow you.
Us. I got contacts. I've had nothing to drink.
Okay. So your movements in the car with you fumbling over the registration kind of say otherwise. And so does the odor of alcohol coming from your person.
Great, let's do a test and
We'll get to the test.
I can't wait. Can I record it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Officer Winters thinks I'm drinking tonight.
To avoid inflated readings, officers are trained to observe drivers for 15 to 20 minutes to confirm they haven't consumed alcohol or alcohol-containing products before conducting a breath test. The 15-minute rule likely influenced Officer Winters' choice to request field sobriety tests first before administering the breathalyzer. Officer Winters conducts a series of field sobriety tests with Mr. Galanakis, some of which have been validated by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, while others have not. Officer Winters initiated the administration of field sobriety tests on Mr. Galanakis, convincing with what is known as the HGN test, one of the 3 standardized field sobriety tests formulated by the NHTSA.
Take them out?
Yes. Yeah, I'm allergic to dogs. My eyes get dried up and watery, so I took them out.
Are you supposed to have them in when you drive?
No.
Okay. I'm going to have you stand with your heels and toes together, with your arms down to your side. I'm going to check your eyes.
Cool.
Okay, what I want you to do is follow my finger with your eyes and your eyes only, and do not move your head, okay? Can you see my finger clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How many more we got?
This test is about 2 minutes long. Are you comfortable in walking in the shoes you got on?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so I want you to put your left foot on the line. Take your right foot, put it in front of your left foot, with the heel of your right foot touching the toe of your left foot, just like this, okay? So from this position, you're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps, turn and take 9 heel-to-toe steps back.
Wait, turn back around?
2, 3, just like I did. Count your steps out loud, and once you've started walking, do not stop until you've completed the test, okay? You may begin.
Gotcha.
Following the HGN test, Officer Winters instructed Mr. Galanakis to conduct the 2 other standardized field sobriety tests, the walk and turn test and the one-leg stand test. These tests are recognized as divided attention tests. After the completion of the standardized field sobriety test, Officer Winters requested Mr. Galanakis to perform 2 additional tests. During the walk and turn test, Mr. Galanakis took an excessive number of steps and failed to count his steps allowed.
Look at you got all these clothes on, and I got shorts on and it's raining. And you false accusing me, so of course I'm gonna be a little nervous.
I wear shorts when it's 30 below.
Congratulations.
If you don't have any questions, you may begin.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, you can relax. I got one more test for you.
Give me a little blow.
I will.
Little zeros.
I will here in a minute. A couple more tests here.
Let's blow real quick.
As per NHTSA guidelines, an individual may be classified as over the legal limit if they exhibit 2 or more clues during the walk and turn test. It is worth noting that failing to count out loud is not considered one of the identified clues for this test. Similarly, in the one-leg stand test, not counting out loud is not considered a clue. Officer Winters proceeds to arrest Mr. Galanakis for driving under the influence. When Mr. Galanakis informs him that he registered a 0.0 on the breathalyzer, Officer Winters contends that he might be influenced by a narcotic substance. During the encounter, Officer Winters cited various factors to support his suspicion that Mr. Galanakis was under the influence, such as fumbling with paperwork, smelling like alcohol, slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, and poor performance on field sobriety tests. While these factors might back the probable cause for an arrest, a judge's decision could depend on their evaluation of Officer Winters' credibility and belief in his allegations regarding Mr. Galanakis' appearance and behavior.
Alright, what I want you to do is make a tight seal around this and blow outwards like you're blowing up a balloon, okay?
Ooh. Alright. You ready?
Yep. Okay, you can relax. So I'm going to read you Miranda, okay? Right now you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you before any question, okay?
Is there...
When's the last time you smoked weed?
I do not remember that.
Tonight?
Oh.
Okay, well I think it's tonight.
I blew zeros, so now you're trying to think I smoke weed. Is he allowed to do that?
Yes, he is.
So I blow zeros and you smoke drugs now. I blow zeros, so you think I'm on drugs. That's ridiculous. I'm being honest.
You smoked some weed at your friend's house?
No.
You hit a pin?
Nope.
Why is your field sobriety so poor? And why are you so lethargic and slow moving and speaking with a slurred speech? And your eyes are watery and your eyes are bloodshot.
You know why they're watery? Right, because we're in the rain right now.
The claim that Officer Winters smelled alcohol from Mr. Galanakis is weakened by his later 0.0 breathalyzer result. It is conceivable that the smell might have come from alcohol-contacted clothing at his friend's house. Based on the body camera footage, there is no apparent evidence of Mr. Galanakis slurring his speech, having bloodshot eyes, or displaying any physical impairment while searching for his registration and insurance documents.
I read Miranda, PBT 000. I said, when's the last time you smoked weed? And he hesitated for a long period of time and said, I honestly can't remember. He says he'll do an evaluation, but he's kind of a smart... Alright, that's what we'll do then. Okay, but I obviously have enough to charge him with the sobriety, so... I spoke with the drug recognition expert, and he said that he's willing to do a drug influence evaluation on you. We would have to go up to the PD.
Right now?
Yep.
I don't want to do that right now.
You don't want to do it right now? Why not?
Because you had me out in this damn rain.
We would go to the PD where it's
Well, I
dry.
don't want to do that. I don't want to do that now. I want to go home. You wasted my time.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
The body camera footage at the very least casts doubt on Officer Winters' characterizations, even though he might have had a clearer view in person. After the encounter, Mr. Galanakis was released without any charges being filed. He took to social media to share his experience, posting about it repeatedly. Later, he shared an edited compilation of the body camera footage. On February 9th, Officer Winters and Lieutenant Wing filed counterclaims against Mr. Galanakis, alleging that he made and published written and oral defamatory statements, lodged false complaints, and intentionally caused emotional distress. In response, Mr. Galanakis has filed a motion seeking to dismiss the counterclaims. As of now, both the counterclaims and the original lawsuit remain unsolved and pending. Now let's investigate our next case. On October 9th, 2020, a retired firefighter named Joseph Garces was driving his Jeep in Santa Paula, California. He noticed shooting victims, including Samir Salgado, lying face up in a parking lot, surrounded by a pool of liquid water, later identified as blood. Mr. Garces promptly pulled over beside the injured man and, realizing the seriousness of the situation, exited his vehicle to administer CPR. Shortly after, several officers from the Santa Paula Police Department arrived at the scene, and the ensuing interaction was captured on their body cameras.
I was driving by, I saw him. I'm a retired firefighter.
Okay.
I'm not a part of this.
We don't know anything about that. We see a gun in the car, you're not going there. Do you have your ID?
It's in the car.
What's your name?
Joe Garces.
Joe Garces, you gotta relax, okay? We know you're helping us out.
Wait, but you guys aren't listening either. That's part of the problem. Yeah.
So I said we appreciate your being involved,
I get it.
okay? We're just running.
That's his knife.
Detective Chris Rivera arrives at the scene and instructs Mr. Garces to vacate the crime scene. The other officers guide Mr. Garces outside the perimeter of the area. Officers possess the authority to close a crime scene to the public in general. In this situation, as Mr. Garces was being interviewed as a witness, it might have been more appropriate, following the DOJ's guidelines, to secure and separate him without necessarily removing him from the scene like a bystander. However, due to the broad discretion officers possess in protecting and securing crime scenes, a court would probably determine that Detective Rivera had the authority to remove Mr. Garces from the perimeter.
He's a witness.
What the?
Relax, okay? We appreciate it.
Huh?
So I got a crime scene, sir. I'm a detective.
Yeah, and I'm here helping him, so step the off. Okay? If you're a good detective, you wouldn't be yelling at me right now. You'd be taking care of your job.
Over here.
You. I can't get the out of here. Get out of my crime scene. Get out of my crime scene. What are you gonna do to me? Get out of my crime scene. I'm gonna make you next time. Get out of my crime scene.
Come with me, Mr. Garces. Mr. Garces.
That's my.
After Mr. Garces shouts at Detective Rivera from outside the parking lot, the detective departs the crime scene and approaches him. Detective Rivera places his hand on Mr. Garces' shoulder, but Mr. Garces pulls away his arm and uses profanity to demand that the detective refrain from touching him. In response, Officer Rivera swiftly seizes Mr. Garces' right arm, forcefully bending it behind his back and employing a C-clamp hold on the forearm and elbow. The discussion of whether Detective Rivera possessed reasonable suspicion or probable cause to detain or arrest Mr. Garces will be addressed later.
I'll give you guys the benefit of the doubt. And I worked with you 27 years. When do I get my car back then? Hey, tell them thank you for teaching me not to be helpful, you fat piece.
You have to step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. I don't know who you're.
Oh yeah, so now you're gonna come over with me, huh? You're doing a really good job right now, aren't you?
I need you to back up.
You need to calm him.
I need you to back up.
Come here.
No,
I got
him. Come here.
No, you need to get your hands off me. Really, the pain compliance, that's what we need to do. Because you don't like me talking.
What's his name?
Video this.
However, even assuming Detective Rivera had the authority to seize Mr. Garces, any potential offense he could be suspected of committing was nonviolent and not particularly serious. There was no evidence to suggest that Mr. Garces posed a danger to anyone's safety, as the altercation was merely verbal and he did not make any physical threats or display threatening behavior. Mr. Garces didn't display any indication of being a physical threat, was not suspected of committing a serious crime, and did not resist or attempt to evade arrest. As a result, he presents a compelling argument that Detective Rivera's use of force may have violated the department's use of force policy.
Your turn.
Yeah, go be a
You want to talk like adults? I'll let you go. You want to talk like
you
adults?
start talking to me like an adult?
Do you understand how I need to
Do you
do my
see
job?
what you're doing wrong?
If you know how to do this job and you have a badge, then you would understand. Now, do you want to
It's
go
so
for 148 if you have a badge?
It's so
Do you
good
have
of
a badge?
Yes,
Are you
I
retired?
Do. Yes.
Do you want to go for 148 for being in a crime scene? Just because sergeants on patrol don't know how to do their job, and you were a
You're
cop
saying
at
your
one time-
sergeant doesn't know how to do his job?
Take him. Turn him around. Where's your badge at?
In my Jeep, like I keep saying, but
Where
you won't
at your
listen.
Jeep? We're adding your Jeep.
And you will see it when you
Do
look
you
at the
want
front
your
of
car?
Jeep.
Do you want me to have to write a search warrant and keep it, or do you want to keep your car? Do you want to get home as soon as possible?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Okay. Sink him in this car right here.
64. What's your first name? Joe.
Hey, check that out. I stopped to help somebody who's been shot. I'm getting arrested.
Have a seat for a second.
Just so you know, I'm retired because of PTSD.
Got it.
Major anxiety problems.
Got it.
Being in handcuffs doesn't help me. I know you guys got to do it. Keep.
The officer notifies Mr. Garces that he is being detained, even though he's not under formal arrest. Nevertheless, Mr. Garces finds himself in handcuffs, seated in the back of a police vehicle. One could make the argument that Mr. Garces caused a delay in Detective Rivera's investigation of the crime scene. A court might reach the conclusion that Mr. Garces impeded the investigation by engaging in a dispute with Detective Rivera and not promptly leaving the crime scene as requested. Alternatively, the court could find that the officers had reasonable suspicion to believe that Mr. Garces was involved in an alleged offense.
Absolutely. Hey, Cap, can we get some decontamination for a guy in the back of the car here? He was doing CPR, got blood on him. I got the fire captain come over to decontamination. I don't know. I've been standing over here. This is the one that needs decontaminated. Cap, he has blood on him. Yeah, he's actually a witness, but he was doing CPR when we came up.
A court may potentially conclude that Mr. Garza's actions delayed the investigation as he engaged in a verbal disagreement with Detective Rivera and did not immediately leave the crime scene. Alternatively, the court could determine that the officers had reasonable suspicion to suspect that Mr. Garza is of the offense. However, considering the strong historical recognition by the courts of the protection of criticizing police under the First Amendment, it appears more likely that the court would rule that Mr. Garces was engaging in protected speech. Moreover, since he ultimately complied with the orders to leave the crime scene within a reasonable time frame, the court might find that he did not violate the obstruction statute. The officers kept Mr. Garces confined in the back of a patrol car for approximately 15 minutes. After this period, Detective Rivera removed the handcuffs and informed Mr. Garces that he was now free to leave. At a point later on, Mr. Garces made a request for emergency medical services, prompting a police officer to call for an ambulance on his behalf. He was then taken to Community Memorial Hospital in Ventura, California, where he received treatment for a dislocated shoulder and torn labrum, both of which required surgical repair. No charges were filed against Mr. Garces. On the other hand, Mr. Salgado, the shooting victim, survived the incident, and authorities apprehended a suspect who was subsequently charged with attempted murder. The charges against the suspect are still pending. Now it's time to watch the final case of today's episode. On May 13, 2022, Corporal J.D. Ellison from the Nicholas County Sheriff's Department conducted a traffic stop in Summersville, West Virginia. The driver, referred to as Mr. Headlights, was pulled over for flashing his headlights to warn oncoming traffic of a speed trap. After Mr. Headlights stopped on the side of the road, Corporal Ellison approached the driver's side of the vehicle. Corporal Ellison asserts that flashing headlights is a violation of the law and proceeds to issue Mr. Headlights a citation. Mr. Headlights contends that he has a constitutional right, protected by the First Amendment, to use his headlights to communicate with other drivers. While the Supreme Court has not addressed this specific issue, some lower courts have recognized that flashing headlights to warn oncoming drivers about a speed trap is a form of expressive conduct that is constitutionally protected under the First Amendment. Given the limited case law available and the non-binding nature of the discussed precedents on West Virginia courts, a compelling argument exists that Mr. Headlights' actions constituted protected expressive conduct. When he used his headlights to communicate with other drivers by flashing them, it can be asserted that he was engaging in constitutionally protected expression.
It was a special day in Tamarack, Florida, as the deputy sheriffs were being honored for their service throughout the year. This was celebrated in their routine city council ceremony, where all the officers were present. The day went exactly as planned. When it was time to announce Deputy of the Month, Joshua Galliardo was awarded with the title and was extremely proud and delighted with his achievement. However, things took an unexpected turn when a young man asked Joshua to come back on the stage with his microphone for a minute. Why did he do so? Baffled at this, everyone remained confused at what's happening. Turns out that the guy was none other than the city commissioner, Mike Gillen. He pointed out an incident that took place between himself and Joshua in 2015. Joshua was called to break up a fight. The commissioner, who had not been elected yet, was videotaping the incident just to collect some proof. But Joshua, in turn, accused Mike of resisting arrest by the officer. The matter didn't escalate, as the charges were quickly dropped when the video proposed that Mike indeed did nothing wrong. Nonetheless, Mike did not appreciate Joshua's actions and brought it up on stage while he was awarded with the prestigious award. He even mentioned that Joshua did not deserve the award and that he wasn't worthy of his position. This was followed by a funny thumbs up by Joshua, who looked like he couldn't care any less. The mayor backed Joshua up and announced that the department was indeed proud and appreciated the efforts of the sheriffs, which felt like a slap on the face for Mike. When questioned about the incident, Mike does agree that he could have reacted to the situation better. I was profoundly affected by my wrongful arrest. I had a flashback and a flood of emotions came back to me at the meeting, and so I spoke up. He said, but we bet Joshua regretted falsely accusing Mike that day. He probably regretted winning the award on that particular day even more, because this video was embarrassing to get through. Number 2, Jamie Kimball mystery. It is an officer's duty to serve his nation and arrest criminals who have broken the law. But what would you do if the suspect claims to be innocent? The second story on our list is filled with twists and turns. Jamie Kimball says she and her friend were out for a chill evening running errands and grabbing groceries with her 2 older children when she was accused of a criminal offense. The Fairfax County Police hit her moving car at 10 miles per hour. Shook by the incident, Kimball was just trying to figure out what just happened. The Fairfax County Police were just performing their duty when they attempted to stop a felony vehicle along Richmond Highway. Jamie Kimball and her 2 kids, who were in the backseat of the car, were approached with guns from these officers, who claimed that the young mom had performed criminal activity a few days prior. Kimball, who was terrified about her own safety and that of her kids, kept denying these accusations, but the cops remained certain about their claims. But here is where things get interesting. When the date of the criminal activity that was accused on Kimball was revealed, a shocking new discovery was made, which changed the face of the case. It was uncovered that the exact same date of the crime scene turned out to be the same day when Kimball was in the hospital having her newborn. How could that even be possible? Did the officers falsely accuse Kimball? Well, not completely. Further investigation suggested that the officers convicted Kimball not due to her identity, but rather because of her car. The case got less complicated when Kimball indicated that the title of the car was only recently transferred into her name. Her new ownership had not yet been updated with the Department of Motor Vehicles properly, and hence the officers who found the car earlier in a criminal case believed the suspect to be driving the car yet again. Kimball pointed out that she didn't receive any alert to pull over. No lights, no siren, no anything. And everything happened so quickly. All I knew at that point that I was in pain. I wanted to know that my babies were okay in their back, and I didn't know why the hell I was being stopped. "Oh," said Kimball. She expected a thorough apology from the Fairfax County Police for the traumatizing event that took place. It's not something that can be taken back. We didn't receive an apology for how we were treated, specifically my children. My daughter's 5 years old and my son is 1. I don't feel like they should have had to experience or witness something like that. We do think Kimball deserves an apology for the damages induced, and we are certain that Fairfax County regretted the way they were hasty while accusing Kimball. Finally, for our top story in today's video, we have this awful incident by Officer Hernandez from Miami. The Miami police officer received immense backlash when the video of him slamming a handcuffed woman on the ground from the car went viral. The officer was captured grabbing a lady by her neck and dragging her out of the back seat of the car and subsequently slamming her on the floor. That's no way to treat a human. The suspect, who was a young woman in her early 20s, was exceptionally injured and laid unconscious in the ground for 15 minutes due to the officer's rage. The rough arrest was, ironically enough, caught in camera by the body cam that Officer Hernandez had on him while he was on duty. Talk about karma. The arrest was based on accusations of vandalism on the woman. As soon as she was cuffed and seated in the back seat of the police vehicle, the lady started disobeying the officers and started spitting on the argument. One thing led to the other, and before you knew it, Officer Hernandez had her slammed on the floor. The rough arrest went through an investigation panel where it was unanimously decided that Officer Hernandez no longer be part of the Miami Police Department. His actions were severely punished, and rightfully so. The paramedics were quickly brought to the scene, and they scrutinized the officer's actions. However, Hernandez kept defending himself and his violent action. The case, after review by the prosecutors and civilians panel, was put under the claims of police conduct, which resulted in Hernandez's resignation. The suspect's father was interviewed about the incident and questioned about how his daughter was doing. Despite not wanting to go on camera, he revealed that he was very much upset with the incident. He added that the happening has taken a huge toll on his daughter and that it would take a long time for her to get over the physical and emotional trauma that was caused to her. We hope the suspect and her family find hope and courage to get over this incident. And we are more than certain that Officer Hernandez would never treat another woman the way he did ever.
November 13th, 2020, Trooper Jackson Little of the Arkansas State Police conducted a traffic stop on a person who only identified himself as James. Little suspected that James was speeding. There is relatively little evidence regarding this interaction, and it cannot conclusively confirm James's identity. So let's watch the video further and see what happens.
All the way, man.
Why is that?
Roll it down all the way so I can talk to you better.
We can talk, right? I mean,
roll it down all the way. I'll ask you and telling you.
What law is that?
Why are you starting this, man?
The trooper advises the man to roll down all the way so he can talk to him better. But the man swears that he can talk with it all the way down. There's no law according to him, and if so, please tell him.
Yes,
we can talk.
I'm not trying to be rude to you, anything like
that.
I'm
really not trying to be rude to you either, but...
So what's the deal? Why don't you want to roll it down all the way?
Because I don't have to.
You want to?
You just
trying to be difficult?
I'm not trying to be difficult. Do you want my license registration?
Yeah, if you don't care.
The trooper tells him that he's not trained to be rude to anyone, to which the man responds he's not trained to be rude to anyone. But the trooper replies, so what's the deal? Why don't you want to roll it down? The man then responds, I don't want to. I'm not trying to be difficult. Do you want my license registration?
What's the reason for stopping me?
First off, okay, I'm Trooper Jackson Little with the Arkansas State Police, okay?
I appreciate that.
The reason I'm pulling you over is speeding. You know how fast you're going?
I do.
How fast are you going?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, I got you going 87 in the 65, man. That's a little quick.
The man asked the trooper what the reason is for stopping him. The trooper then responded by saying, I'm going to pull you over for speeding. Are you aware of how fast you are going? The man then responds by saying he's not going to answer that question in any way.
I got this dash cam here.
Yeah.
And it records my speed.
Okay, how fast does it say you're going?
I'm not going to answer that question, but okay. I know it wasn't that. This is...
Okay.
Registration, insurance. I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
I'm really not trying to be difficult with you, sir.
So what's the deal then?
The man then replies he got a dash cam here that records his speed, and he is not going to answer at what speed he is going. Next, he gives his registration to the trooper.
Well, what deal?
Why are you just being so defensive and argumentative?
With what?
Everything I'm saying.
Well, I don't believe...
I'm not being cooperative by rolling the window down. It's not a huge deal. I'd like to talk to you better, you know.
I think that we're talking fine, though, aren't we?
The trooper asks him if he's not being rude, then why is he being defensive and argumentative? What's the deal?
With you, but let's start over.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
My name's James. You have my
nice
ID
to meet
here.
You, man.
And I just don't... The reason for the window, I'm not trying to be defensive or argumentative or anything.
Yeah.
I just don't like to have it all the way down.
Why's that?
I just don't.
Why is that, man?
I just don't.
Okay, okay. Everyone's different, I guess.
Everyone is a little different, yeah. You like it down, I don't, you know.
Okay.
The man says, how about we start over? I don't want to fight with you, so let's put that aside from now. Can we try again? I'm James, and this is my ID. The trooper then asked him, I noticed that you like to keep the windows partly open. I'm curious why that is. The man answered again, please understand that I'm not trying to defend myself or argue with you. I just want to see things from your point of view. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I just don't feel good with the window all the way down. The trooper asked the man if he thought he was going too fast. The man says that he doesn't want to talk about it and uses his right to stay quiet under the Fifth Amendment.
I don't think it's a huge deal to not.
You know, if you don't think you're going that fast, something could be wrong with your car or something, man. You know, you never know that.
2021.
Nothing like that, man.
I'm not trying to be rude either.
I know you're being nice now, so I appreciate that.
Well, I feel like I've been nice.
The cop again tries to use his right, saying you never know, even if you don't think you're going that fast, something could be wrong with your car or something. The man says, it's 2021. It's nothing like that, and I'm not trying to be rude.
Sure.
Okay. Those little things to mean a lot sometimes, man. For all you know, you could be trying to hide something or anything like that. So those are just little clues. I'm not saying you are. Not accusing you.
Well, we're just operating within the bounds of the law right now, aren't we? Are we just operating within the bounds of the law right now?
We are.
Then...
But those are just little clues, man. I mean, it's...
The officer gets cranky and says little things matter to me a lot sometimes. Man, for all you know, you could be trying to hide anything or something along those lines.
And you don't have the legal grounds to tell me to roll my window all the way down. That's the only thing. That was a lie.
A lie?
Yeah.
It's not a lie.
The man then asks if they're simply operating within the law, to which the trooper replies they are. The man says it's just a little strange that you're demanding I do something you said you're not asking, you're telling me, and you don't have the legal grounds to tell me to roll my window all the way down. That's the only thing that was a lie.
All the way down.
Like that. But like I said, it's speeding, man. It's not a huge deal.
And I understand that, and that's why I feel like we got off on the wrong foot, because you were telling me to do something that I don't have to.
The trooper's just on the stubbornness of why he's not rolling his window down, and the man says it's not the law to roll it down, so he's not going to.
I don't think you violated anything right now.
Okay, yeah. Good deal.
No, I think we have a disagreement on what the law says on the window.
What's the deal, man? Honestly,
Well, there's zero deal.
Trooper continues to ask the man why he won't roll it down all the way, and in many cases interprets the man's unwillingness to assist the inquiry as animosity. Refusing to cooperate with an officer's inquiry does not constitute reasonable suspicion of criminal behavior.
I don't know. Why don't
I'm just curious of why you're so stuck on it.
It just blows my mind. Like, why can't you just roll it down all the way, man? Like, what's?
It blows my mind that you can't let it go. I thought we moved past this.
It's just a little funny to me, man. I'm behind the whole cop thing. I'm just kind of curious why you won't do it.
I just don't.
This time, the man gets annoyed and says, "I'm just curious as to why you're so fixated on it. It just blows my mind. You can't let it go. I thought we'd moved on." But then the trooper responds, "It's just kind of funny to me, man. I'm just behind the whole cop thing. I'm just kind of curious."
Did it hurt you or anything like that?
I fully believe that, you know, but I'm allowed to have my defenses up, right? Do you believe I'm going to hurt you?
No, I don't.
But you got your defenses up, right?
Yeah.
It's just a natural
all the stuff
thing.
going on, I guess. It's
Sure,
natural
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
This time, the man explains, "Well, I guess so. A man with a gun walks up to my car. I'm not happy that my defense is strong. Do you think I'm going to hurt you? I don't, but you've got your guard up, so it's only natural."
But I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I have my ways I got to do things.
Yeah. I was just saying, behind the whole cop thing, I was just kind of curious why you didn't want to, like, behind the whole...
At last, the cop agrees with what the man is saying and says everyone is different. The officer says that his records are clear, but it's a warning, so he still wants to know at what speed he was driving.
Hang tight here, okay?
Sure.
Put your stuff back, man. Here's what we're doing, okay?
All right.
Your records look pretty dang good. I didn't see a speeding warning or ticket on there, okay?
Okay.
On you out for the warning, okay?
I really
know you don't think
appreciate
you're going that fast, but...
Even when the trooper provides him a warning and promises him he'll not write him a ticket, the man continues to refuse to answer questions.
Going that fast.
How fast? Since we're beyond that, how fast was it?
I really can't answer that question.
Well, I'm not writing you a ticket, man. It's a warning, so I'm just curious what it says.
I understand, but there's a formality that's got to take place there.
What do you mean formality?
My right to remain silent on things.
I'm not going to walk back there and rewrite a ticket, man. I can promise you that. I'm just curious.
I can promise I won't answer the question.
You have my word. I'm not going to do that. I promise you. That's on my camera.
Nothing, however, would legally preclude the trooper from changing his mind and issuing a penalty after the warning was issued. After the additional warning, the man's protection against self-incrimination was preserved. If James confesses to speeding, the police could collect his dash cam footage and use it against him in court if they secure a warrant for the digital data.
Hey, man, what's your name again?
My name's James.
Okay, nice to meet you. I'm Jackson.
Too.
Nice to meet you.
You too. What was your badge number?
587.
587. Is any of that going to be on the...
Oh, let's see. It should be. Yeah, name's right there. Badge number's right there, okay?
Perfect, man.
But yeah, besides that, man,
James was completely within his rights to continue to refusing answer questions due to the risk of self-incrimination and the dashcam video being utilized as evidence against him. James left the scene without incident after receiving his warning and requesting the trooper's badge number. On the same day as the incident, James posted the dashcam video on his YouTube account, although it is unknown whether he took any more action. Overall, the trooper receives a grade of B- because despite maintaining a pleasant demeanor, he gave James orders that were questionable from a legal standpoint and persisted in pressuring him to give up his right to stay silent.
Hey!
Do you have a driver's license, please? Insurance and registration.
I sure do.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you pulled me over?
Yes.
The video starts with a man who is being caught by a police officer. But what happens after the instruction is gonna shock you. So stay tuned to the video till the end.
There is. You ran a red light when you were at University and Rural, and then you made an improper turn right here. When you cut the car off, that was the lane number L2. Do you have a driver's license, please?
The man asks the officer, why is he being pulled over?
I do, but it's in here. You're not going to be scared if I reach it, are you?
Do you have any weapons?
Well, I don't answer any questions, but you can clearly see inside of my vehicle. I have camera equipment. I'm a TV producer.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license, please?
I do.
Could you grab it for me, please?
But I did a U-turn where the road was closed. I just want you to notice that.
All right. Could you give me your driver's license, please?
I can, but I got to reach in here, and I don't want you to be scared.
Just give me your driver's license.
This is the Mullen Commission. I teach constitutional law.
Okay.
Just so you understand what you're doing here.
All right.
Be really careful your steps here.
The man explains that he made a U-turn because the road was closed. I just want you to notice that, okay, I can give you the driving license, but I need to go in here and I don't want to be terrified. This is the Mullen Commission and I teach constitutional law, so proceed carefully.
Please give me your driver's license, your insurance, and your registration.
You don't have to be demanding. You can clearly see I'm pulling out my identification for you right here.
The officer again asked for the man's driving license, insurance, and registration. But what the man said is truly appreciable.
You're armed and dangerous. I'm not. and you can't lose your temper because I'm a citizen and you're doing your job.
I'm just asking for your identification.
Right, but you're being aggressive towards me and I don't like it. So you need to stop.
He said, "You do not need to be demanding. I'm clearly bringing out my identification for you right now. There's no reason for you to be disrespectful to me because 300,000 people follow me as a constitutional law professor, so while you're armed and scary, I'm not. You cannot lose your cool because I'm a citizen and you're performing your duties."
And you guys have just become tyrants. Like, I'm not usually this close to someone who's just so dangerous that carries a gun around pulling people over, demanding things. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous the way you guys behave, and you wonder why people don't like you.
The man goes on to say that you have 8 minutes to finish your stop if you make a mistake at any point along the way. I'll get your jacket, and you know what I mean when I say jacket. I'm obviously showing you my identification right here. I'll remove the tape and hand it over to you.
Drive around with my identification showing for people to see it. You follow what I'm saying to you? You want to cover it up so you stay protected from identity theft.
The cop gets impatient and demands records once more.
I mean, what in the world would make you pull me over? You can clearly see that the road was closed and I had nowhere to go.
Sir, I've already told you why I pulled you over.
Yeah, but you're just making an excuse to pull me over to see if I'm drinking or to see if I've done something wrong or to look in my car. I mean, the truth is there's all the information you need right there. That's my driver's license, that's my insurance.
While the man says, "I'm not typically this close to someone who carries a gun around and pulls people over demanding things. It's like how you guys act is completely ridiculous. Do you wonder why people dislike you? Look at your behavior. You don't see the roads being closed back there."
I just bought the car, so I just got it. I don't know which one it is here. Oh, you know what? It's over here. It's the sticker.
It's the piece of paper that comes.
Yeah, it's the piece of paper that comes in the window.
The man explains further why he is not having his identity. He says, "Please listen. You can be as short as you want, but I don't exactly drive around with my identification on display for everyone to see. You follow them, stating you want to cover it up so you don't become a victim of identity theft."
I mean, I can't believe you even pulled me over, to be honest. You could clearly see that road was closed. You didn't see the road was closed?
The man provides all the information. He then claims that it is consent, since he constantly produces it. The cop then requests the registration card, to which the man responds that this is a brand new car, the registration's still in a massive form right here.
Camera in here, so don't say things that aren't true. I didn't cut off anybody.
I keep looking for your registration.
I didn't drive recklessly.
I keep looking for your registration. I keep looking for your registration.
Or anything else.
The man again comes to the point that why the cop pulled him over. To be honest, we could easily see that the road was closed, but the cop didn't notice it. The cop responds, "I saw, but I also saw that you were stopped at a red light and you turned left at a red light, and then I also saw right here you turned a lot from lane number L1 and straight into lane number 2 and cut off the other vehicle." To this, a man replies that don't make things up, he did not cut anyone off, and for the proof, he has a camera over there.
Let me see if it's let me just take a look and see. It's on the other side. Let me get my
on the passenger side?
I can get it. I don't need you. I don't need your help. You can. I'm not a criminal, so get the fuck off.
The man gets out of his car to take registration back, but gets prevented by another cop who tells him to wait in his car. But what happens next? Will he be able to go on the other side?
You're not for officer safety. This is under Terry versus Ohio. I'm Pennsylvania versus Mims right now. I'm outside of my car. The 1978 holding. Are you sure? Yes. I'm allowed to go over and get my registration as he asked me to do. Stop demanding. Look what he's doing. He's demanding me around. Yes. This is not a lawful order.
Directing you back into your vehicle.
No, because I said don't tell me what to do.
Directing you back into your vehicle.
No, because I said don't tell me what to do.
This argument gets extended, and the man tells him to be careful because he is not the one they are thinking of.
for you.
Okay.
So now let me get my registration as he asked me to do.
I'm going to have you wait in your vehicle.
I need to go around the other side to get my registration.
Okay. When I'm ready
He's
to
already looked at you're not the boss of me. You're a cop doing a job.
Yes.
You have no other skills than this.
This is my traffic stop.
This is not your traffic stop. This is my freedom.
The cops want the man to wait right in his vehicle, but the man knows this is not what the law states. So he explains the law to his audience and reveals why the officer is scared.
You to wait in your car.
No, the answer is no. The answer is no. You cannot demand that I do unlawful orders. I teach constitutional law. Be very careful, officer.
Okay.
You don't think that it'll affect you, but by about the second year...
The man further spills out the truth, saying he does not have any real power. The man further decided to give a lesson about the laws, explaining the Mullen Commission and how the American police treat American citizens.
Again,
now you're touching me. Get your fucking hands off me.
You moved into me. I was standing right here.
Look, who's walking up and doing what to who?
I'm not moving at all, sir.
I have 300,000 followers, brother. They're going to love this. I have 300,000 followers, brother. They're going to love this.
After some time, the first officer returns his documents and gives him a citation for the wrong turn. And this is what the man replies. According to the man, the cop is a coward and backs off.
You want to follow me? He wants the registration. I want to get it for him.
I want you to keep waiting right here in your driver's seat.
Listen, see, this is the problem with police in America. This guy right here is an authoritarian piece of shit.
The man then thinks of taking a business card, but the cop quickly leaves after knowing that they messed with the wrong man. According to the man, the cops were just cowards. At last, the video gives a lesson that always acquires as much evidence as possible when dealing with our society's strict cops, because the evidence can save you in the event of a lawsuit. The video shows that on August 18, 2022, an officer from the Cook County Sheriff's Office observed equestrian Adam Hollingsworth, also known as the Dread Boy Cowboy in the Chicago region, riding a horse on the right side of the road on Cook County, Illinois, and approached him in his cruiser.
Bro, I can't. I'm running late. I can't, bro. You don't never cut a horse off. You never cut a horse off. Learn the law. You never cut a horse off, brother. If you hurt my horse, you're going to get sued. Go ahead and hit my horse. Go ahead and hit my horse. Hey, I'm traveling, brother.
So we can clearly see in this video that the man named Mr. Hollingsworth is riding a horse, and the policeman is trying to stop him, but he refuses to stop and continues to state that he is traveling the horse.
I'm traveling. Why am I detained? Is it illegal? Is it illegal?
Yes, it's illegal.
Get a white shirt here.
What do you mean a white shirt?
Get a white shirt here.
Where's your driver's license?
Get a white shirt.
I need your
I'm not giving you nothing. Get a white shirt.
Get off the horse.
I'm not getting off nothing. Get a white shirt. Get a white shirt.
So he's refusing to stop when I stop to talk.
The writer asked the policeman if he was detained and why he's getting detained. The policeman said to him he was detained because it's illegal to ride a horse. The policeman said to him, "Get off the horse," but Mr. Hollingsworth refused, and the officer also asked him to show his driver's license.
I'm not giving you nothing. Listen, can I get a sergeant or a lieutenant over here? I don't want to talk. I'm traveling. I'm running late from work. I'm traveling, and y'all, it don't matter. It don't matter. Okay, get a white shirt over here. Get a lieutenant over here. Why are we still talking? Y'all don't even know who I am, and y'all want to bother me.
The officer claims that it is illegal to ride a horse in public areas. Although in Illinois it is entirely legal to ride a horse on a road in 2022, unless it's a highway or expressway.
We're trying to find
It don't matter. It don't matter who I am. It don't matter who I am. Y'all detain me for no reason, bro. I'm finna be, y'all gonna let me go in a minute. I'm gonna be let loose in a minute. Don't touch my horse. Don't touch my horse. Don't touch my horse. You scared my horse. You scared my horse. Whoa.
park the horse.
I'm not parking.
If the department determines to ban certain types of traffic on the highway, it is legally required to record and maintain official signs stating the applicable restrictions. Therefore, as long as the road was not a controlled access highway with properly erected signs, Mr. Hollingsworth was within his rights to ride a horse on it. Additionally, according to Section 6101 of Act 5 of Title 625 of the Illinois Compiled Statutes, it required an individual to have a driver's license or permit to, quote, drive any motor vehicle upon a highway in this state, and since Section 6112 states that drivers must display their license upon demand to police officers. No such requirement exists for riding a horse.
For me traveling, bro? Do y'all know the law? Do y'all know the law? Do you know the law? Y'all finna make a donkey out of y'all. Y'all don't even know who I am. Y'all, listen, I prove cops like you, y'all don't know the law, and y'all just pull people over, wasting my time. Wasting my time for what? You never cut in front of a horse, learn the law, you never turn your siren going on a horse, you never blow a horn on a horse, because you can start on my horse. For me traveling, bro? Do y'all know the law? Do y'all know the law? Do you know the law? Y'all finna make a donkey out of y'all. Y'all don't even know who I am. Y'all, listen, I prove cops like you, y'all don't know the law, and y'all just pull people over, wasting my time. Wasting my time for what? You never cut in front of a horse, learn the law, you never turn your siren going on a horse, you never blow a horn on a horse, because you can start on my horse.
The statute does not authorize officers to demand a driver's license or other identifying documents during the investigative detention for this reason. The court could likely conclude that Mr. Hollingsworth was not required to give his driver's license to the officer. The policeman continues to ask for the driver's license. Mr. Hollingsworth refuses to give his license to them and said that he is running late for his work, so let him go.
And y'all don't know the law. That's not good. Do you know before that was cars, what was transportation?
Okay, we go back to the 1800s.
Before that, listen. Okay, bro. Y'all need to learn the law before, when it comes down to horses, man. I have road rights. I'm traveling. As soon as your white shirt gonna get here, he gonna let me go. And you wasted my time. And that's a lawsuit. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue you. And I'm gonna sue you. And I'm gonna sue your department. Cause y'all wasted my time. I'm running late from work. I might lose my job now. And then y'all bringing more.
And when the policeman said that he can't let him go, he said to get a lieutenant. He doesn't want to talk to a policeman. He said that when the policeman doesn't know him, he doesn't even do any crime. Why are they bothering him? The officer started touching his horse, although Mr. Hollingsworth continues to tell him not to touch his horse because he was scaring his horse. Mr. Hollingsworth argues that the law prohibits the officers from cutting in front of horses or activating their sirens or blowing their horns at the horse.
That animal cruelty right there. And I'm actually... No, he didn't tell me I'm detained. I thought when he told me I was detained. Until he said I was detained, I was going to keep going. I pulled over. Did I do right?
Yeah.
Okay. But for him to cut in front of my horse, I wanted to press charges on him, animal cruelty.
Well, that's what I told him. I said my concern was you back being on the roadway.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
It was just that he's in this traffic.
Mr. Hollingsworth gets frustrated by all this and says that now the policeman gets badges, they don't even know their law. He claimed that the policeman wasting his time, and now he wants to go for his job, otherwise he'll get fired. And when he looks behind, there are 6 police vehicles for this case.
Thank you. Hey, listen, write that ticket. Write your ticket. I got your box, man. I apologize, man. But him right there, he bogus. He bogus. I'm going back for him.
Mr. Hollingsworth claims the officer who cut his horse off with the cruiser committed animal cruelty because the horse, quote, flipped himself. It appears that Mr. Hollingsworth's referring to a form of interference with the technical term when a horse's hooves collide with one another, or when its legs one another with its legs. Clipping, also known as brushing, is a type of interference where the left and right feet strike each other, and even a single instance of interference can potentially cause injury to a horse.
Yeah. Different.
They gave you back?
Different.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't illegal.
Which, right now.
It ain't illegal.
I tell people there's a lot of livestock laws still in Chicago.
It is unclear whether Mr. Hollingsworth had pursued any legal action or filed an official complaint over the occurrence. After the interaction, he was allowed to depart and continue riding his horse on the road. However, it is known that Mr. Overall, the cops, made a false allegation that it was against the law to ride a horse on the roadways, and as a result, they unlawfully detained Mr. Hollingsworth for doing so. They also demanded his driver's license, even though he was not obliged to have one because he was riding a horse. When confronted with many cops who claimed that he did not have the legal road rights he was entitled to, Mr. Hollingsworth displayed a strong awareness of his legal road rights and refused to back down. Hey, please let us know if you wish to learn more about similar issues to this one. Please like our video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you ring that notification bell while you're at it, that way you'll always get the latest updates from our channel. And thanks for watching.